What is going on, everybody? I'm out on the farm today. I hit him perfect. I hit him absolutely perfect.
Running and gunning, and I think that's the only way we can do that.
Big old Maine smallmouth there. Caught it on a drop shot, about 28 foot of water.
The first 15 minutes. Don't really have a goal for today. My main goal is really just to come out and put a couple cameras out here. It is April 13th today, so our turkey season opens up around May 1st. I don't remember what exact day it is, but usually it's right around May 1st. Just a really nice day. First nice day we had. It's supposed to push 70 degrees, which I'll believe that when I see it, but it's well into the 50s right now, so that's pretty nice. But just gonna come out to the farm, look for some turkey sign, put some cameras out, look for sheds. The only problem that we have right now with this property is the deer don't winter really anywhere close to here. So I doubt I'll find some sheds, but if I do, obviously I'll show you guys. But like I said, no real plan, just kind of an aimless day. It's been a very long couple weeks with stuff going on, and so this is just a nice day for me to get outside. Jordan's at work. So yeah, I just figured I'd take the day, kind of relax my brain a little bit, and check on all the tree stands and poke around. And we saw a bunch of turkeys out here last fall. If you guys hadn't watched our bow hunting season last year, you should go back and watch that. But we saw a bunch of turkeys. Just gonna try to find where they're at right now and put some cameras out and see if there's anything with a beard and get ready for bow hunting. I had a camera on this tree last year, kind of overlooking this little spot in the food plot where it pinches down from one field to the other, and there's already some birds scratching right out in front of it. So I'm just gonna throw a camera up right here and then kind of do a quick lap around this field, look for other sign and maybe tine sticking up, and then I'm gonna keep on moving. All right, first camera set up for the year. Be interesting to see how quickly the deer, there's already some deer tracks up here that look fresh, some turkey scat around here that looks fresh. There's some bucks I'd really like to see again. Obviously King, I would love to see him and actually get a chance to really key in on him this year. There's a buck that ran with a buck I killed last year. If you guys go back and watch the story of Slick 6-point I shot last year during rifle season. He ran with a buck, grew up on the farm this past fall or summer with another buck we called Florence, who was a very clean 6-point as well. Very similar, a little bit bigger rack. I think a year younger than Slick. I'd like to see what he turns into this year. So like I said, just gonna take a little loop around here on the field and look for turkey sign, deer sign, antlers, who knows what. So right in behind me, you can see how thick it is in here. There's a bunch of trails that come out. The deer last year would come from down in this corner, cross that little pinch where I just set that trail camera, and then keep going that way. We had a lot of nighttime activity on them, and it's gonna be borderline impossible to hunt in here. There are a couple big pine trees that I wanna take a look at to see if I could get into, maybe build a pretty good trail into there for that. I went into there for a little bit last year, and I found some good rubs and stuff like that, but I just want to get into there, see what their bedding's like, see what their rut activity looks like from last year, to try to kind of put more pieces. There's two spots I want to check out. One's the other side of the farm, and then this one right here. I'm probably just going to sweep the fields first, put the second camera out, and then dive into the woods to explore this stuff. Ticks are probably going to be out today, so that's something to look forward to. Last year, at least during the fall, because I wasn't really out here paying much attention during the spring, these poplar trees that were in behind me that I just showed you guys, the turkeys, at least the hens, we had more hens than anything last year. They were roosting in these poplar trees pretty much every single night. I'm hoping that's going to be the same thing. If it is the same thing, they would fly down into this field and then push that way into the property. So that camera that we set up should be in a pretty good spot for that. It's going to be hard to tell if they're still roosting in it right now until I get into there and look at the bottom of the tree for scat and stuff, feathers and all that. But normally I've always seen them pitching up and roosting in big pine trees, not really open trees like this, but for some reason that's what they liked last year, at least last fall. Right behind me is, where is it? Right there. That's the clover stand that we called it. It produced nothing for us last year. I only sat it, wind was only good to sit at a few times, and over here had more deer activity, so I sat there. But had clover patch right in front of it, clover off to the side, and brassicas and clover off to the right. Sat it 3 times, I think, and Dad sat it once or twice. 0 sightings of deer. Clover is obviously all dead right now, but hopefully it'll grow up. So yeah, muddy. Everything's muddy. I gotta say, I feel super lucky to be able to work with a landowner on this property, but it's super cool to work with a guy who's willing to let you use his land, use his equipment to put food plots in for everybody, and hunt it pretty much whenever I want. He lets my dad hunt it, which is just super cool, and I appreciate that a lot more than he probably knows. But there's some things we got to do to make it better. I have some ideas. These food plots worked really good, and the deer used them a lot. But I think there's a couple other spots we could put food plots and do a little bit better as far as seeing deer. So I'll talk to him about that this year and see what he wants to do and what he wants for the plan, because he has final say on everything. So, but that's fine. Well. Got 2 cameras out and the two of the main spots that I wanted to look. So now I'm just gonna cruise in the woods. I'm probably gonna put you guys away for a little bit because it's gonna get thick, and I'll pull you out if I see anything cool. Just gonna cruise into one of the spots that I wanted to check out from last year that I think could potentially get me on some deer. I'll update you after that. So the reason I am coming back into this corner, I don't know why I'm coming back into this corner other than last year when I would walk the road in to one of my stands, or 2 of my stands, and also just doing some like midday scouting through here. A lot of deer traffic coming in and out of this little corner of the property. Why are they in this corner of the property? We don't know that yet. I didn't want to go in there and booger things up, and I just wanted to let them be last year. During the rut, that road was just thrashed with scrapes. So today's goal, find out what is in here that they like. Are the does bedding in here? If so, where exactly is that, or where exactly does it look like that would be? Buck sign. I'm just going to be looking for sign. This is going to be a video of me just talking to you guys, but this is what I do. It's April and I'm scouting for deer. I don't know if you guys like these videos where I'm just kind of explaining what I'm doing and how I'm doing it or not, but tell me if you hate it and you don't ever want to see me talk again. But I like these videos. I like making these videos. Not that anything that I'm doing is the right way to do something or the only way to do something, but it's cool to watch different guys scout different ways and maybe pick up on little things that they're doing. It's like, oh, I could do that, or I overlooked that, or because I watch a lot of these videos to try to make myself better. Hopefully I can teach you something, and if not, if you guys think I'm doing something terribly wrong and you think I could do something better, just let me know. I have open ears for the outdoors. There is no right way. There's all kinds of just general ways. I just did a pan, which I'll put up right now, and I'm probably gonna have to slow it down, but these are things that I look for, terrain features, as I'm in the woods on a property that doesn't have a ton of terrain to speak of. As you pan, you look on the left side, you can kind of see where there's a plateau, and it flattens out, kind of rises up, flattens out to a plateau, and it overlooks down and through here. We're gonna go to that, because in my head, what I think is a buck could potentially, any deer, I guess, buck or doe, can get up on that higher ground, look back down over everything, depending on which way the wind's blowing, get their back to the wind and overlook all this and be safe. So we're gonna go up to there, see if there's any sign of beds or anything like that. It looks pretty open, so I don't think it's gonna be really a super good bedding area, but we're gonna go check that out, see what it looks like, see if there's any sign of anything up there. I am up top. I don't see any real sign of a bedding area, but there are some things that a buck could bed in. This big tree behind me, got this little blowover, another decent little tree right here, this tree right here, depending on what the wind's doing. I'll do a low pan as well to show you guys kind of from his perspective or her perspective of what this would look like and how good they can actually see from up here. There are some signs of deer up here. We got deer scat right here. We got a rub or a scrape, excuse me, right here, and a nice rub over here. Not a super hard hit rub or hit very often, but it almost looks like right here, maybe an indentation of a buck bedded or a deer bedded, but that could be from all the snow as well. But in my head, what this looks like to me, a buck's gonna cruise up on top of this knoll so he can check things out, survey, hit that scrape, must have hit that rub, and then he could potentially lay down at the base of any one of these trees, again depending on the wind, to position himself so that he can smell from anything behind him and overlook anything in front of him. Looks like a really good spot, really thick through here. I would assume that maybe some does bedded in this thick stuff, but we'll explore more, and yeah, kind of cool to see. As I walk into this thick stuff, I'm actually seeing less and less deer sign, which is surprising to me. I thought that they would be bedded in here, but what this could be is, if you guys have ever noticed that run trail cameras religiously, you'll have a point, especially during the rut, when it's just peaking before bucks start really getting with does. It's just like buck and buck and buck and buck and buck, and then they disappear for a week, 3 days, whatever it is. This could be one of those, I don't know if they're called this or not, but what I would call a tending area, where he's gonna bring that hot doe and try to isolate her from everything else until he can breed her, and then he's gonna move on. So that could be one of these, and that could be a reason why that strip was all so tore up with rubs, with other bucks walking the perimeter making scrapes because they could smell her with him in here. So could be one of those spots, because as you get into it, I'll do a pan of how thick it is in here. There's really not much deer sign in this other than trails going through it, but on the outsides there's a lot of deer sign. So those could be bedded in here, but I don't see enough scat piled up to, unless I just haven't found it yet, but I haven't seen enough scat or anything piled up to conclude that. Conclude that? Is that right? I don't know. That's what I'm gonna say. Conclude it. First tick of the year. God, I hate those things. I've been walking around for a while now. Pretty promising back in this little corner, actually. Found a good spot that I could get a tree stand into, I think, and get an arrow to an animal. Not only that, but getting into the stand and out of the stand, I think I can do pretty well too, which is just as important as having a good spot. But I think I just found where the turkeys have been hanging out, at least for a couple days. This place is tore up with scratching right now. All this disrupted land is turkeys in here feeding for bugs and seeds and doing what turkeys do. Glad I came back here. Not really what I was expecting to find. I was expecting to see a little bit better bedding area than that, but they got to be in there, because there's plenty. Once you get out of that thicket, there's plenty of buck sign around it. Not so much in it, like I said, but definitely around it. So now all I'm going to do is jump back on the four-wheeler trail and head to the spot that I showed you at the beginning that I wanted to dive into. Just got back to the other side of the farm. I'm gonna put you guys away because I'm about to head into that crap. But like I said, if I find anything cool, see anything worth showing you, I'll pull you guys back out and let you take a gander. Just walk through some of the thickest crap I've ever walked through, or at least walked through in a long time, for no reason. It's so thick, I don't know how. I mean, he's got trails, the deer have trails through it, but even those trails are so thick, I don't know how a buck pushing or at that 140 inch mark with like a 22 inch inside spread, I don't know how he gets through that crap, because that stuff was thick. Holy cow, is it thick. But that's why he's big. He probably lives right in there, I would assume. But I'm gonna end the video right here, guys. Again, sorry nothing super cool happened, but that's pretty normal for me. So thank you for watching. We appreciate all the views, we appreciate all the support, and we'll come to you next time, maybe out on the water, maybe in the woods, maybe going after turkeys. But we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.